your aim sets your emotional frame. Like there's almost nothing more important to understand than that. It's like, because your brain can't compute what's positive until it knows what the direction is and it sees you making progress. So first rule, there is no aim, no positive emotion. And the second rule is progress towards an aim once specified is positive emotion.
Humans are made for progress, not for arrival.
Yes.
And so the whole process is discern the run line.
Yeah.
Figure out the instantiation of what that means, practically speaking, and then start making progress toward it.
Yes. And that's what a leader communicates to people.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that's why people will run through a wall for a great leader. But that's what you must do for yourself. This is one of the great paradoxes of this. So do you want to have progress in your life? Do you want to be a happier person? Do you want to have a life full of meaning? Number one, discern. Number two, create a strategy about actually how to arrive at the object of your discernment. And number three, start making progress towards. Here's the paradox. Here's the hell of it. If you arrive, it's a problem.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the arrival fallacy that we come up with. So a lot of people will say, why do all diets fail? Because they basically do. 95% of diets fail insofar as at 1 year after the inception of a diet, people weigh more than they did at the beginning of the diet. Why? And the reason is because you will forego all of the food that you like if you see the scale go down, because progress is everything.
Yeah.
Because humans are made for progress. All of our utility, we get so much dopamine in the wanting, liking, learning process actually from progress. The reward for actually hitting your goal is you never get to eat what you like ever again for the rest of your life. Congratulations.
Right.
That's why 30% of stringent diets lead to eating disorders, because people are like, I want more progress. And so they keep making progress. And that's when healthy eating or healthy dietary patterns turn into unhealthy dietary patterns, is because people want progress so very much. So the paradox of all this is you better have a run line, and that run line better be pinned someplace else.
So you have this Jacob's ladder, which spirals up into the ineffable. You can't see the pinnacle. The pinnacle is wherever God is, but you can't see that. And the reason I think that that's relevant and important is because of the paradox that you just described. If you reach your goal, you satiate the system and the motivational framework disappears. Right? So that means there's no direction and there's no hope. That's the problem. It's weird because you've attained your goal, but now you're directionless and technically you're hopeless, because hope comes in consequence of positive emotion in relationship to a goal. So actually what you want is a sequence of expanding goal with no upper limit. And that's exactly what you see in Jacob's ladder. It's like, so you climb, and then when you get to the top, you can see another. And then when you get to the top of that, you can see another one. And that never comes to an end. So that would be an inexhaustible source of motivation and hope. And it is independent. In a way, it's independent of accomplishment, because there is no final goal. But you don't want there to be a final goal, because then you run into the paradoxical problem of satiation, right? One of the really weird things about human beings is that we're far more seeking-oriented than satiation-oriented, right? Is that we do want the adventure, we want the craving, we want the desire.
The progress.
Yeah, and the progress. More than we want the attainment. Yeah, absolutely. I had a client once. He had this dream of retiring when he was like 50. And he had a pretty cut and dried, ordinary, algorithmic job, And I said, well, what's your vision for retirement? And he said, well, I imagine being on a beach in the Caribbean with like a Mai Tai in my hand. And I thought, well, that's a travel poster, not a plan. And I said, well, look, you're like a middle-aged white guy. You're going to sit on the damn beach for one day and you're going to be so sunburned, you're going to have to hide for 2 weeks. And then what are you going to do? You're going to drink like 5 Mai Tais a day, or 20? For how long? You've got no orientation or goal. There was nothing to it at all.
I've worked with, privileged to work with. They retire at 49. Why? Because they don't like their work. Their work is backbreaking, and they can't see their families, and they don't have love in their lives. But they've lost their chops on actually how to do these things, because the plot has been lost in their lives. And so they retire at 49. And then they become very good at golf or tennis. And their life really falls apart. And here's the thing, Jordan. Woe be unto the man whose dreams come true, because he will find that he had the wrong dreams.
Exactly.
This is a real problem.